Hello there, welcome to another episode of What the F. Now, there was no episode last week to those of you who actually watched the videos because basically I had things to do and I wanted to, for this subject, look up a lot of research. Because again, I don't do a whole lot of research with these videos, but sometimes when I'm talking about something that's pretty, I don't know if it's necessarily close to the bone or controversial, I prefer to know what I'm saying. I mean, generally I just talk off the top of my head, but I thought this time I want to have some facts, so you'll see me occasionally glance off screen because I have a thing open here with some good points on it, right? So anyway, the topic for this week is, I actually don't know what to call it, to be honest with you. I suppose gay people. It's the only term that comes to mind. I can't call it a homosexuals, I can't call it lesbians, because it's all encompassing, the subject. And what brought this to mind for me is I recently watched, rewatched actually, two documentaries done by the documentary maker Louis Theroux, in which he went to live in America, in the state of in Kansas, I think it is. He went to live with the Westboro Baptist Church. They're a religious. I'm going to call them a fucking cult because again, they call themselves a church. They go by the Bible or whatever, but it's a cult. Most of you out there who know them, would know them, and for those of you who haven't heard of them, it's a church run by a guy called Fred Phelps. And now, as an atheist, right, I don't believe in God and I don't believe in any of the religions. But if you believe it, makes you a better person, good luck to you, right? But the core message of most of the religions, be it Christianity, Catholicism, Buddhism, even Islam, their core message is peace. You know, they just live your life by a certain code, by a certain set of rules, and don't do bad to people. You'll be grand. But the Westboro Baptist Church are a fire and brimstone it's a hate organization essentially. They don't do violence. That's one thing they've been quick to avoid. They don't do violent acts. They're a very hateful church. They believe God hates us all. We're all going to hell because we tolerate homosexuals and lesbians. I mean, the most famous thing about them is that they picket funerals of dead soldiers and of people who died of AIDS. And they hold those signs saying God hates fags. They hate homosexuals. They believe everything that's wrong with the world is because of them. And it just brought to mind it just brought it to mind for me because it's I've never had a problem with that. I mean, my mom and dad know they raised me, my brother, and my sisters in what I believe is the best way to do it. And again, perspective perspective is everything. You might not agree with it, and I might not agree with, but my mom and dad basically left the choice open to us. My mom and dad were never like, oh, gays are this, gays are that. Eat your fucking vegetables. Jesus is watching. If you touch yourself, oh, Jesus knows you're doing it. It's fucking. They allowed us the freedom of choice. They left it up to us. And in terms of gays, I've never in my life ever had any kind of hostility towards them. And it's again, to each their own. I mean, one of my dearest friends on this planet, I've known him over 20 years, is gay. He came out to me, and he said his exact words were, he goes, "I was afraid of what you might say because we met the previous day." And then he told me that he goes, "I wanted to tell you something yesterday, but I was afraid of how you might react." It was the only thing that was offensive. And I was like, "Listen, I've known you a very long time. I think you'd know by now that wouldn't matter." And it doesn't. It never did. Gay clubs are great places. I go to them. They're fucking fantastic. Think about it. Straight women love these places. And if a straight woman is in a gay club and she's feeling a little frisky, she can't have any of the guys around her. But I'm there. The only straight guy. So it's fucking bonus. But be seriously now. This topic was also on my mind because a lot of countries have been debating same-sex marriage. Most recently in New Zealand, they legalized it. Big up to New Zealand for that. And I often wonder, look, how many countries out there could have done this? Because again, the core thing gay people want at the moment, be it homosexuals or lesbians, the word gay covers all of it. but they want marriage. They want to get married just like a heterosexual couple, like a man and a woman can. They want that, and I can't see why they can't have. We'll get to the negative, because as much as I'm going to be proactive in my opinion of same-sex marriage, I'm also going to give the point of, I'm going to be devil's advocate. I might not agree with it, but I'm going to be devil's advocate, and I'm going to give the against point of view, which frankly, when I fucking read this, made my blood boil. It was just ridiculous. But we'll do pro first, which is what I'm, because again, I find it easier to talk about pro because I am pro. You know, I'm pro gay rights. You know, they should have all the same rights as everybody else. Why not? They're human. You know, the Westboro Baptist Church would have you believe they're like beasts. They're not human. They're an abomination. They're sickening people. And they're not. They're gay. Emphasis on the word gay. Gay means happy. I've never met a happy bunch of people in my life. So anyway, back to the topic. Now, for this video, I decided to look up how many countries have legalized gay marriages. As I said, New Zealand was the most recent. And I've got it here. There's a list of 14 countries, and they've all legalized gay marriage. No, it isn't civil partnership. That's a different thing altogether. This is this is marriage, like marriage between a man and a woman. Homosexual and lesbian couples have that right in 14 countries here. And there's France, and as I said, New Zealand, the Netherlands, Belgium, Spain, Canada. Bizarrely enough, South Africa, because I've heard a lot of anti-gay sentiment come from there, but strangely enough, it's on the list. If I'm wrong, feel free to let me know. Norway, Sweden, Portugal, Iceland, Argentina, Denmark, and Uruguay. Now again, very progressive countries that have done this, and fair play to every single one of them. And it's good that they've done this because, again, marriage is one of the rights gays have fought for many years. They've fought for many rights to be accepted, to come out of the closet. I mean, there was a point in history where it was fucking illegal. Oscar Wilde, one of the great literary figures ever, was a homosexual. He spent time in fucking prison for it, which is again stupidity of the highest order, and just again, like, you know, fucking, they're doing no harm to no person. You know, to make something like that illegal. But no, gay rights have come a long way. You know, no longer. I mean, it was illegal at one point. The age of consent for sex between two men was a very contentious subject at one point, but now it's the same as good. Like, as far as I know, the age of consent for heterosexuals is 16. I used to think it was 18 because 18 is when you can drink and all that. But the age of consent is 16. Before, with gay couples at one point it wasn't. I don't actually know what the deal was with a lesbian couple, but again, if you know, let me know. But many rights have been fought for and gone, and along the way, again, it's they've been fighting the good fight, and it's been going good so far. But again, but marriage is the one thing that they want above all things. You know, they want to marry, they want to be able to adopt, have children. You know, like Elton John, his partner for like, they've been together a long time. I don't know exactly how long, but they have 2 kids. No, naturally, again, they're 2 men. You think, well, how is that possible? Surrogate mother. And again, they're doing no harm to no person. They seem to be doing a good job so far. We haven't heard anything bad or mean. They're not abusing their kids. They're doing okay. So that's another right that they want. They want the right to have the same kind of family life that we do. And again, there's nothing wrong with that at all. Now, I listed the countries that have legalized gay marriage. Now, not all countries. Again, in an ideal world, gay marriage would be legal everywhere. But again, there's been the stigma, there's been the fucking propaganda, and the highly contentious point of religion, which we'll get to later. But some countries, while they've not legalized gay marriage, they've legalized what I mentioned earlier as civil partnership. No, that isn't strictly marriage, but it's a step in the right direction. And the list of countries that have done that, that have legalized them, have passed civil partnership laws, is right here. I mean, Germany has them. I mean, my homeland of Ireland, we've got it apparently. Luxembourg, Finland, Great Britain, which encompasses England, Northern Ireland, Scotland, and Wales, and Italy. Now again, there is debate amongst this in Britain recently. They've been talking about their Prime Minister, David Cameron, I think is his name, has been talking about legalising gay marriage completely. Now again, there's a lot of opposition, some for, some against, as there is with any issue really. But it's the fact is it's being debated. It's not being swept under the rug. It's not being swept under the carpet. They're talking about it, which can't be said. The same can't be said for in this country here, because I mean we recently had our abortion vote. We voted for it, abortion under certain circumstances. But the fact of the matter is that decision was made 20 years ago. They just swept it under the rug and hoped people would forget about it. And I'm afraid they might do the same with gay marriage. I mean, again, according to this, they've permitted the civil partnership. But then they'll probably think, oh, well, they'd be happy with that. You know, and they'll hope, oh, they'll forget this talk of gay marriage. And it's, you know, I hope they do. So, the people who oppose gay marriage have some very kind of strong arguments as to why, not why. I mean, like, you know, they go, oh, it's bad, it's bad, it's bad. But they don't talk about the positive aspects of marriage in general. So I decided to look that up. I look, what are the positive things about being a married couple? No, I looked for just reasons for marriage. I didn't look for heterosexual reasons. I just thought, marriage in general, what are the benefits of it? And this, I think, does apply to both, whether you're gay, straight, lesbian, transgender, whatever floats your boat. The benefits of marriage outweigh what these fucking idiots who oppose it are. They're like, it's wrong, fire, brimstone, God will hate you. Fuck all that. The benefits of marriage outweigh what their supposed concerns are. The stupid concerns, but they're concerns nonetheless. But the benefits of marriage, I decided to look at that. And there's one here. It says married people are much happier and likely to be less unhappy than any other group of people. Essentially, if you're married, you're happier because you have. I mean, if you're a single person, you know, you have all the stresses in life, and it would be nice to have someone to share that with, you know, talk with, and offload your frustrations, and that person helps you make you feel better. So, if it's common sense that married couples are happier, some might disagree. So much of this might disagree, but it's nice to have someone to talk to at the end of a hard day's work and offload all your troubles onto. Not necessarily offload and burden them, but just to unburden yourself with your problems, and then they'll make you feel better. A nice little hug or just general reassurances and offers of support. So that's a perfectly good thing. And then there's married people live up to 8 years longer than divorced or never married people. Now I don't know what to say to that one. That's the only weird one to me. Like, you know, I mean, what? I'm a single man. A married man's going to live longer than me. The only thing I can come to in that is that, like, you know, a single person might be a bit sad that they're not married and might top themselves. Whereas a married person is happy in their marriage, they're not going to do that. It's the only thing I can think of. If you can think of something else, let me know. But like, in that reason that they live 8 years longer, I don't get it. Anyway, there's also married people suffer less from long-term illnesses than those who are unmarried. Again, I don't get it. Again, because again, like, you know, I just did these searches. I looked up these reasons. This particular list of reasons didn't come with clarification. Less likely to suffer from a long-term illness. I don't know. I suppose. I mean, they do say, doctors do tell you that stress has an effect on the immune system. I mean, if you're a single person, you're stressed, and I'm not married, I want to meet the one, I want to get married, I want to have kids. The more stress you have in your life, the more likely you are prone to sickness. So I suppose in that sense, I get it. That if you're married, you know, you have a loving partner, a supporting husband or wife, that helps you through all the stresses of life, and you're not as stressed. So I suppose I kind of in that way I understand it. But again, I'm not a strange one. But then there's the other one. Married people are less likely to engage in unhealthy behaviors such as drug and alcohol abuse. And I get that. I understand that. If you're a single person, you have no one to answer to. If you're a single person, I mean, like, I'm a single guy. I can, like, you know, I can smoke, do drugs, I can do all this because there won't be any consequences because I have nothing to worry about in the sense of I don't have a wife. I don't have children. So I've no going concerns that would prohibit me from engaging in that kind of behavior. Whereas if you're married, you got to think of the future. You know, someone who might engage in dangerous behavior when they're single can't do that when they're married with children because they have a family to consider. So that makes sense. Now, the last reason is pretty obvious, to be honest with you. And it basically says married people have twice the amount of sex as single people and report greater levels of satisfaction in the area of sexual intimacy. Now, of course it fucking is. I mean, when you're a single person, I'm sure that when you're a single person who puts it about, if you're a guy who goes out there and your sole purpose on a night out is, right, I want to get laid, I want some sex with a willing woman. It might feel good, it might be enjoyable, it might be nice, but again, when you think of the future, you think, is this what I want to do? Just go from one to the next to the next to the next. Now, it sounds like an attractive notion. I admit, the notion of, being able to have that ease of access to sex sounds very appealing, but in the long term, it's kind of sad. I mean, long term, thinking about, no, I wouldn't want that long term. I want what everyone wants. I want to meet the right person, marriage, kids, the whole thing. That's brilliant. And the notion that sex, I would imagine now sex with someone you love is fantastic. It's great because you love that person, they love you. Therefore, I would imagine the sex would be better when you compare a guy who's just out for a night and a girl who's just out for a night. They enjoy the moment, but then the next day it's like, well, gotta go home. And it's again, in the moment it might feel good, but sex with someone you love is, again, common sense dictates it's better, and therefore you would enjoy it more because you love the person you're having sex with, and vice versa. So all those reasons in regards to the positive aspects of marriage are gender free in the sense that they can apply to a straight couple or a gay couple. They all have the same wants, needs, and desires that we do. They're human, and it's not like gay people are a subspecies. They're not like a different species of humanity. They're not like there's human beings and there's monkeys, but we're sort of the same in terms of genetic material. Gay people aren't like that. They're human beings. They walk upright and they have a fucking mind. And they love people. They just happen to love someone of the same gender. And the very notion that they're not allowed to express that love freely is sad, because as a heterosexual man, I have that option in the sense that I could walk about with a girlfriend, hold her hand, cuddle her, give her a kiss. It'd be all great and nice. But if a gay couple does that, be it a lesbian couple or homosexuals, people look at it like, what the hell's that? I mean, I'll confess, when I go to the gay club and I see the gay people going at it, they kiss, they make out to the American viewers. It's strange to look at, but it's like, they're doing their thing. They're happy with that. I'm not engaging in it, and I don't disapprove of it. It was just odd. It was just odd to see the first time I went to these places. Like, oh shit, two guys. But again, it's not like I didn't know they existed before. I just had never seen it. But I've been to the clubs many times, and I'm used to seeing it. Again, it doesn't bother me at all, because again, in the moment they like each other enough to do that, and then they're just responding to the same impulses, the same desires that we all have. And if anything, it must be fucking double confusing for them, because a society tells us that the norm is man and woman, marriage, kids. So if you're a guy and you're bombarded with this message, like, man and woman, you must find a woman to get married. And he grows up with these feelings and these urges. And he's like, no, society says I can't respond to that. It's not normal, it ain't right. That's got to be a head wrecker, because you hear about gay men who get married to straight women and they engage in this life that is not them. I mean, you have the anti-gay people who talk about, oh, gay people, all they want to do is recruit, And that implies choice. Gay people don't choose to be gay. Again, not that there's nothing wrong with it. But I have to believe, and I don't know what kind of response this comment's going to get, but I would have to believe that if we were given the choice, if, like, if we were given the choice, say, listen, we're creating you, would you like to be straight or gay? Now, given the amount of persecution and the amount of shit gay people get, I would have to believe that most of us, if we had the choice, would choose straight. Which leads me to the conclusion that, again, gay people are born that way. Like Lady Gaga said it in the song, born this way. And I have to believe that. It makes sense to me because, again, if you could choose, you would choose to be part of the group that is less stigmatized, that is less looked down on and spat at. You would prefer to be part of the norm. But again, people talk like, that gay isn't normal. And to some it isn't, to some it is. And it is. Because again, they're expressing the basic desire that we all have. It just happens to be with the same gender as them. Nothing wrong. That, I mean, like, I heard a comedian say once, like, gay people, they want to be as miserable as the rest of us, fucking let them. It's a funny comment to make, but it's kind of true. They all they want is the same right as us to love each other and to be not persecuted for having that love. Because again, they were born that way. They didn't choose it. Part of their DNA, which is ridiculous when I hear about, groups saying, "Oh, we can cure you, we can change you." You can't. If you try and cure a gay person, all you're doing is sentencing them to a life of fucking repression and eventual insanity. No, they might not go insane to the point where they're in an asylum, but I can't imagine living a life like that, where you've gotta suppress your basic fucking desires. I mean, it would be like telling a person, right, you can no longer have sex with your wife. You know, people will go insane. Sex is an important part of any relationship, and it's people will go insane without that outlet, without that method of expression. And again, like, when you have the gay people who think they can be cured, they're just going to drive themselves insane and lead an incredibly unhappy life if they try to change themselves. It can't be done. You are who you are. You're born that way. Just accept it, and your fucking life will be a hell of a lot happier. Now I'm going to cut it short there because I could go on forever, and I've pretty much in this video so far put forward my point of view. Now, at the start of the video, I said I was also going to talk about the people who are anti-gay marriage, who are anti-gay in general, and I'll talk about them in part 2 of this video. So, if you like this video, let me know what you think. Leave comments if you want. Thanks for watching. Take care, and I'll see you next week with part 2 of this gay topic. Bye.